Mohammed's very first 3 ministerial nominees. Quite a sight to behold, Charlie. Ibrahim Alasan is laughing.
Yes, Limo.
Ivy.
Good morning.
Good morning. You were there yesterday.
Yes, I was there throughout. Something that was supposed to just be in and out. Ended up traveling to the late part of the evening. And that's because, you see, leaders had a trip to embark upon. So there was an agreement that they do each of the nominees for an hour. So 1 hour, 3 hours, we're done. And especially Dr. Kesela Tofoson, who is the majority leader. The convention has always been that if you qualify to not just be a member of parliament, but to lead a pack, and for that matter, lead parliament, then there are no questions about your capacity to hold any other public office, right? And so therefore, the probing is limited. But of course, you heard Alexander Kwame Afeni-Markin, the minority leader, say that we've never had a leader go to the finance ministry as the Minister for Finance before. And because of the special nature of that particular office, there's a need for further probing. But I still think close to 5 hours is quite
a stretch.
Yeah. But nonetheless, the answers kept coming on one front. In fact, one that was quite vociferous was the promise by the NDC to set up regional tribunals. And many people did not address their minds to that, right? And so the minority members of the appointment committee, to say they were levied or they took exception, strong exception to that particular promise, is even an understatement. And so forcefully, they sought to find out why Ghana wants to, or the NDC wants to set up regional tribunals. But Dr. Dominic Ayine, the AG designate, indicated that, it's even in the constitution, right? And I said tribunals have the same powers as the High Court. And then the minority still insists that after the Constitutional Review Commission finished its work, there was a white paper, and the white paper from government, the NDC government, had suggested that the said tribunals must be done away with and incorporated into the mainstream judicial system. But Roxy Nelson came back strongly to say that the law allows the state to establish said tribunals, and that's exactly what we're going to have. Aside that, yes, ECG privatization, and that should be done in the next 6 months, we're told, especially the revenue collection aspect of the ECG's work. And the president equally related to this, saying that a system that allows for 40% commercial and system losses, 40%, is not a system that can be allowed to stand.
Exactly.
And so definitely
yesterday, later part of the evening, I listened to a conversation that Bemboache was on, and he mentioned that ECG's challenge is revenue collection.
Exactly.
For a system that is not able to collect revenue is a challenge. I mean, if you're able to sell power, why are you not able to collect back?
Yes. So if that is the thinking, that you sell the power, but another entity will do the collection, and that will bring in efficiency. So on the back of that, the ECG has just announced that they're going to embark on a revenue mobilization drive. If we can keep the lights on. And they will be coming, visiting your homes, and then inspecting your meters, and if you owe them, they will be embarking on this collection exercise.
I mean, how many times haven't we heard this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Last year it was in full swing. Here we are talking about possibility of going back to doing so. Right. So so yesterday, it's under wraps. We were expecting another letter from the president today. Ms. Wallace, we're expecting another one from the president today that will afford the appointment committee the opportunity to vet them again. But hey, we are here.
GHVD. Emmanuel Bikpo, the ladies call him money.
Yes. Have you seen the video?
What video?
Of a number of people who are going around asking ladies which names, by way of men names, have showed them shaggy.
Emmanuel.
Hey! Everybody says Emmanuel, but they say it gets worse when it turns to Manuel.
and interesting. Emmanuel because Manuel at some point.
It's good you guys are talking about the privatization of PCG. Already pulled the public public
utility
workers union has begun kicking against it. We are here again, you know, and the similar conversation came during the former President Kufuor era. Former President Kufuor. They say you know kick against it. So let's see the more this is going to take, the form is going to take, it's going to be substantially different from what was proposed in 2007, 2008. For which reason we later saw PDS in the system. So let's see how it unfolds. But also on the tribunal, you know why we like extreme ends. Because one of the things that was discussed at the appointment committee was whether people were going to be lashed if they in this day and age. I mean,
how?
But what was the takeaway for you?
Oh, for me, it's energy, and it's refreshing that John Janapov seems to know what it's about. He seems to have a grip of the sector, understands the nitty-gritty in there. And we all need energy.
Of course.
When his initial interview that we only have 5 hours for full, when that interview was aired, if you recall, a lot of businesses were worried. Some that we spoke to were even asking that they should do whatever it takes to ensure that the lights are on. So my take home was the assurance given by the minister. And interestingly, when the minister was at the vetting, the president was also meeting some industry players. So for me, that was it. And also, don't forget the toll booth conversation is and already people are fact checking or comparing the stance of the soon to be
finance minister.
Finance minister, his take on tolls, and he made a comment. I mean, in the past, as to how it's been collected and how it creates some sort of
discomfort.
Exactly, but let's see how it unfolds. But I don't think that he for example, currently he's talking about efficiency. So that is the point I believe
that's the point of departure
for him. But the manner in which the toll was being collected, you could spend 5 or 10 minutes at the motorway toll booth. I don't think it helps with productivity. So if indeed we are coming to introduce toll booth, and if there's anything with regards to toll, is also a form of a tax. Anything with regards to tax that Ghanaians were even asking, why are you taking it away? It's toll booth. Like nobody seems to understand. It's one of the things that people are actually willing to pay. Because
and around the world, people pay tolls.
You use the road, you pay. I mean, it's as basic.
To maintain the road.
So for me, I will adopt the wait and see approach. I want to see the manner in which the new collection will be rolled out. Whether it will be substantially different from what was being done in the past, then I can say either the finance minister at the time was doing politics or he's been a real estate.
To add to that, so when toll booths were abolished or scrapped, we were told that it was because we had said hallelujah to e-levy, right? So e-levy had come, and because e-levy had come, we were doing away with toll booths. This same finance minister incoming has said that his first budget, he has abolished e-levy. So if we are logically going by this, if toll booths were scrapped because of e-levy, and now we are abolishing e-levy, it's automatic that toll booths.
In football, we call this like for like swap.
Exactly.
Central defender, bring another central defender.
Yes. So the betting people will say this one is what? Both teams to score. Or this. Anyway, talking about Emmanuel, our Emmanuel. We cannot say he's in the same category as your Manuel. But anyway, he's also Manuel.
Really?
He's Manuel. He's yes.
There is one
in Morocco.
That's his words. Yes. Anyway, so let's see how that goes.
Exactly. Let's look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. I have here the Daily Graphic. Finance Minister designate promises economic relief, e-levy bet and tax to go. 76th New Year school opens today. Spare parents SHS funding bedding. That's according to Child Rights International. But if parents can pay, some of them can afford, why not?
I think the argument is premature. Of course, Mr. Batapia, I'm sure, will be invited to the forum, the Free Teachers Forum, the educational forum that will be organized. And all these inputs are actually welcome. They are received, and then we see the way forward. But I insist that we must draw a line in the sand and say never again will we allow politicians to toy with our educational system as and how they deem fit. We must have some finality as to curriculum, as to duration, as to the form and structure of education. Otherwise, like I said, one day we have a mad person as a president, and our kids will be asked to go to school 3 months and come home, and then we say that they are graduating. To be honest, because we've left it in the hands of the politicians. Win power, and you can do whatever you like to our educational system. That is not how it ought to be. That's not how it ought to be. So, all those opinions are welcome.
Absolutely. Government will explore private participation in ECG. Minister designate for energy. That's it for the front page. Back page says final works at Obechebi Lamte interchange to be completed in March. That's according to the engineer who faces persistent water shortage. And even some parts of Accra.
Yeah, but mind you, that interchange has been inaugurated.
Yeah.
So after the March completion, will it be inaugurated again? Yeah, asking. We're asking. So the Chronicle this morning, yes, I endorse Mohammed's 24-hour economy, says Joseph Siem in Japan. Yes, and you see, if there's any strategy that businesses in Ghana should adopt, they must adopt the Zoom Lion strategy.
Yeah.
You see, he operates like a chieftain's institution. Whoever is the president will work with you.
But that's how business makes.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I agree.
That's how it's supposed to be. So when Nana sought to reduce the importation of rice, he brought Nana rice. He went into rice farming, right? And he's still into rice farming. 24-hour economy. Trust me, he will ensure that he assists in rolling it out. That's how businesses must operate.
24-hour Bola collection.
That's it. You drop, you collect.
In our bid to make Accra the cleaner city.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drop, we collect. Anyway, so the other one, the opening trial. Scientists dispute Ghana Standards Authority first report on little weight fertilizer. Yeah, and this case has traveled for more than 8 years.
For about 7 years.
And it's still traveling. Yeah, it's still traveling. Yeah. Nice one.
Whether it will still see light of day.
Yes. As it stands now, as it stands now, the prosecutions are being led by the state prosecutors, right? Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why we have the AG and the Minister for Justice. So the Attorney General's Department is still functioning, even though without an AG.
Because it's still a ministry.
Exactly. So energy sector debt hit record $3 billion and still counting. Yesterday, one disclosure that was quite interesting to me was the fuel that was brought on the 9th of January. So 2 days after Jinapo had made public the challenge with the supply of fuel, there was an attempt to deliver some fuel. And then he made inquiries at NPA, at other places, and they were all told that he didn't know about it. And so he made inquiries and realized that the orders were given by the outgoing government appointees. And he said no. But I hope that they knew they didn't mean that we, the consumers, suffered for it. Because he says he's asked for investigations into it. If indeed the orders were placed before the exiting of power by the previous administration, all he needed to do was to cross-check with the handing over notes, or even the individuals themselves, and then see. Because if the country paid for it, then of course investigations should prove that eventually the stock will have to return to the state because we paid for it, right? The other headlines here: road tolls will be brought back to forcing. Yes, and yesterday the chairmanship of Bernard Ahiafo was brought under scrutiny. I'm sure it is first day in office. Moving forward, because 3 out of the way. How many more? 57 more to go. 57 more to go. Oh yes, I'm sure we'll pick lessons from day one and adjust accordingly.
But even to be fair to him with day one,
yeah, it wasn't that bad.
You remember that he warmed himself into the chairmanship position.
Yeah.
When he started, he allowed
just that the minority. I mean, took center stage in jostling.
Yeah.
But everything is
it was very, very unnecessary.
Yeah.
He's an experienced legislator, but I believe that the chairmanship position is also a learning curve. So I'm sure.
At the point when the minority members got up and left, there was some hour of excitement. No, like the NEC really wanted them to walk out. But I said, no, we are not going.
But you were there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I didn't get the chance to hear her question.
Yeah.
The deputy ranking. That's the
Patricia Pedi.
Yeah. She was just there pressing her phone.
Yeah. There was a question about how many sins that they had to commit to push the vetting from today to yesterday, right? After Governor Kwame, who was more or less like the headmaster at the table.
Yeah, he
right?
was like the whip.
Yeah, exactly as he is, whipping everybody in line, whipping a friend here and there, whipping even a here for saying that I know what I'm doing. Oh, brother, it doesn't look like. Anyway, so
yesterday he was really in charge of whipping.
Yeah. So after he said that, see, what we're doing is unconventional. Usually leaders are supposed to be given some privileges by way of how we scrutinize them and even the duration. But they came in and said, oh, but we're not even supposed to vet you today. We're supposed to vet you tomorrow, but we'll push it back. Yeah, we'll push it back to today. How many sins do you commit in doing that? And so that one is between you and your God. That's what I just said that one is between you and your God. As to how many sins you've committed. Yeah, so she went ahead and asked questions that of Ato. But the subsequent ones, yes,
and I said,
yeah.
Anyway, the new Crusading Guy newspaper is the next one I have. Lafa Zongo chief donates to Ofankor police station. I will scrap e-levy betting tax in 2025 budget at forcing and pool public utility workers union reject ECG privatization. Details on page 3 and 10. And PMF comments President Mahama on formation of Hajj task force. These are the lead stories in the new Crusading Guy.
All right, so before you come, Lily, somebody has lost his job.
Oh.
So revocation of appointment as CEO of the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, I write to formally inform you that His Excellency Dramani Mahama has revoked your appointment as the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income and Investment Fund effectively immediately.
Myth.
Yeah, you are directed to hand over your duties to the President's representative at the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Dr. Ato Forsen, will oversee the operation of the fund until substantive Chief Executive Officer is appointed. The President extends his gratitude for service to the nation. Yours sincerely, Dr. Callistus Mahama, Secretary to the President.
Executive Secretary.
Yes, and this is to Edward Nana Yao Kurantin, Chief Executive Officer, Minerals Income and Investment Fund, Accra.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the green letter has landed.
You know?
I thought it was a Supreme Court.
I think there are others that are excluded.
So by executive instruction.
But there are others that you have to contribute to a board.
And then the board will sack them. Yeah. So first of all, the boards, of course, stand dissolved.
Yeah.
And yesterday there was a letter reminding them that, to that effect. So what they need to do is constitute, and then the board will then just fire the CEO.
So the same thing, just that the form has changed.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the CEO is supposed to be a member of the board. So the board that the CEO is a member of will just fire him or her.
Appoint a new
appoint a new CEO. Yeah.
Fine.
But you see, if you go the NCA way, Joa Notice way, it's tiny, very tiny. Joa Notice says, "Me I jump before you push me, so I sack myself." That's it.
But I think that would have been the honorable thing to do.
Yeah.
A lot of these CEOs of the various state institutions.
Yes.
I think that would have been the honorable thing.
Very. Because
Waiting to be sacked, yeah.
exactly. Because I think logically,
if you're appointed by a certain president, I mean,
who didn't believe in 24-hour economy? How are you going to implement 24-hour economy? You get a point. So that departure on the basis of principle and policy beliefs should be enough for you to say, you know. But sometimes too, it depends on how you are sacked. You get some additional, funding,
additional no curfew.
Exactly.
The Daily Dispatch is my next paper.
By the way, Atufosun was asked of the central bank governor, and so he has a few months to end his term. And he's asking, will you wait for the few months, or he said, but I'm not the appointing authority.
Of course, he thought. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, if it's few months, I mean, let him exit gracefully.
We'll repeat that for since we are not
appointing authority.
Maybe eventually he will get to believe in the 24-hour economy. You never know.
Yeah, but he's record to have said that no license will be restored as long as he remains the central bank governor. Well, there is nothing going on about the Bahama president who promised in opposition that he will put together a team that will look at the revocation case by case basis, right? And they make recommendations therein. So if the recommendation is that UT Bank, for instance, will have its license restored, you say that over a dead body.
But remember, the committee will have some time. So maybe as the committee is gathering more information, that time, none of time has to do.
Yeah, but you know Mohammed doesn't have time like that, right?
Yeah, he just How the NDC swept the king of political swing regions. It includes the central region, and that's part one. The task ahead of Ghana's 9th parliament. That story is on page 2 of the Daily Dispatch. NPP grew on building a united and resilient NPP. That's also on page 2 of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Back page says 2024 elections, how the NDC. Okay, that's the story I brought to you. Okay, that's it for the Daily Dispatch.
All right, the Daily Post this morning. Ghanaian Starr Akle unleashes mashup tomorrow, and we will abolish betting tax e-levy on our first budget at 2006. And I heard somebody, a media person in Parliament, say that the only thing she is looking forward to from this administration is to abolish e-levy. You see? And so when I heard suggestions that, no, maintain it, repurpose it, see, there's something about what you say in opposition and sticking to it when you win power. E-levy, betting tax, non-negotiable. They must go. There are many people who voted for you based on that.
If you don't do it, then you have deceived the Ghanaian public.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, yes, Atufosun says, yes, first budget. These taxes will go.
Investors can't wait for the first budget.
Let them go. Yes. So
at least those of you want to send me Momo.
yes, wait. No. They might change their minds. I beg, send them.
Please send them. Send the big ones.
Yes.
So that later when it is abolished, you can send bigger ones.
That's the point. That's the point. Like, keep them coming. Over 400 million Ghana cedis unaccounted for in ECG's monthly revenue. That's according to Jinapo. Oral team necessary for accountability. Yesterday, Oral came up strongly. Yes, as to its constitutionality and illegality and what have you. INE says it is legal. Bahama Eriga says, oh, take this as see something. See something. So the Oral team is just the same as see something. Say something.
Exactly.
Anyway, Akufo-Addo statue at Efiam Kwantaran about demolished under mysterious circumstances. Yeah, I know we are making light out of this, that even in your calamity you should be smiling, but I think this is unnecessary.
Very.
This is needless. Whoever undertook this exercise did not spare some thinking, some deeper thinking. Let it be there. And
how does it cost?
I hope we will restore it, honestly. Because for whatever is wrong with it that we talked about, it's a reminder to all of us of whatever that we said. Because we sat here and said that, see, this administration or any future administration could have looked back and said that, okay, Akufo-Addo did that, let's honor him with a statue. and that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was done when he was still the president was done out of political miscalculation. We said that in no uncertain terms. But as long as it has been erected, let it remain erected. Let it be there.
So honestly, they've paid the political price for it. Right?
Yeah.
They've paid
So
the political price.
what
You won
else?
that region massively.
Yeah.
I mean, let that be a reminder.
It was
to
very
things
needless,
incumbents shouldn't do.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely petty.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
So that is it for the Daily Post.
All right, the Insight newspaper. NPP's Musa Superior warns Akufo-Addo over attempts to remote control the party in retirement. The NPP, anyway. It is finished. The EC's data security is in complete meltdown. Ex-soldier and cybersecurity researcher Aloga Akatapori writes. So details on page 6 and 7 of the Insight newspaper. And brutal murder of English Alata priest. Family appeals to President Mahama for investigations. Comes with a photograph of the deceased priest and the IGP Dampari. Co-MP vows to fulfill promises. Hails constituents in Thanksgiving service. And the last headline here: the children of Gaza are freezing to death amid Israeli bombardment and massacre. Details on page
Too bad.
Will this ever end?
That's the question.
You know.
That's the question.
The Overseer is my final paper. Mahama fulfills promise of creating youth ministry. NDC jubilates over Atufosin's appointment as finance minister. Private sector participation crucial in power distribution. That's according to John Abdullahi Jinapo. I will abolish e-levy and tax in my first budget as finance minister. That's according to the Member of Parliament for Ejumako Enyan Isiam, Dr. KCL Atufosin. Ashimo hijacks NDC Greater Accra appointment process. Mahama meets IPP's amidst looming power crisis.
Well, talking about scrapping of the taxes, I think the flag for them. Dr. Gideon Bwaku, former advisor to
the Vice President,
says what the advice NEC would do is to scrap and reintroduce some other taxes in different forms. And I asked him that you also promised to do same in your manifesto. So they know how to do it. If the NDC wants to learn, they should consult them. So, yes. Okay, so the final one I have is the New Republic. There's a new one. New Republic. You know, when power changes hands, some of the newspapers will come. Those that were black and white will be colored. Some of them that were colored will now be black and white. It's normal. It's normal. It's normal. It comes with the yeah, very much so. So the New Republic, and this is to counter Brian Champions, the Republic newspaper, I'm very sure. So National Security Cartel blows 3 million. Okay, so that's it.
Yeah.
The New Republic. Yeah. Oh, you have it. No, give us that. I'll give you another. I have the soft copy here. They are here in their numbers. Okay. So let me give you the business analyst.
Okay.
Energy sector debt hit $3 billion. Jinapo warns, I will abolish e-levy in my first budget at 2,000 assures, and Mohammed reserves public boards. Mohammed government targets single-digit inflation, and Akufo-Addo's statue toppled. That is it for the business analyst.
All right, so the New Republic, let me just conclude what Ivy started. National Security Cartel blows $3 million on toys spyware as devices meant to eavesdrop on citizens failed to work.
Yeah. Hey. Then we're better off for it. The citizens we're better off for it. But yes, indeed, people must answer questions.
If indeed that is what happened. And NIB boss in oral trouble as shocking evidence emerged over land grab after lawyers denial. Details on page 2.
What a headline. Usually I'm trouble. So his trouble is just by word of mouth. No problem.
Akufo-Addo's statue of vanity in secondary vandalized. Look at how they describe the statue.
Statue of vanity.
And the last headline here is an article: President Mahama confronting the challenges of a nation in crisis. You can grab a copy of the New Republic and turn to page 10 for this detail.
All right. So I'm sure we'll go online.
Yes, halfstarfm.com.gh. Cantamanto. President Mahama says we'll give Cantamanto other markets nationwide a facelift. That's President Mahama to traders. NDC issues directive on appointment of MMDCEs. NHI applauds Mahama's decision to uncap health insurance levy. Ghana's energy debt has risen to $3 billion. This according to Energy Minister Designate John Abdullahi Jinapo. ECG to begin operation Keep the Lights on January 15. So it begins tomorrow. So they will be invading your homes.
Yeah.
8 AIs are A1s, okay, not AI. A1s, a disco student gets a full 6-year scholarship. That's a good one. We do not intend to privatize the energy sector, John Jinapo. And about 3 million ECG meters are malfunctioning still, John Jinapo. Those are a couple of the stories here on starfm.com.gh.
Okay, let me try the city newsroom and ask if it will open. Of course, it's not opening here. City newsroom. Try to end and let's see. Hopefully, yes, hopefully it opens there. Here it's not opening.
Okay.
Yeah, you there? No, not yet. Okay.
Okay.
You are there.
Do. Government plans to abolish e-levy betting tax violates IMF program. That's according to Member of Parliament for Tano North, Dr. Gideon Boako. Overlord of Dagon orders closure of St. Vicente Nursing College for ignoring his decision. Quality of leaders in Africa has dwindled. That's according to Jacob Zuma. Osei Mensah denies neglect of presidential villa, blames financial constraints for almost 8 years.
Yeah, and that's the Ashanti Regional Minister, former Ashanti Regional Minister.
Jacob Zuma, Mohammed's re-election signals shifting views on elections in Africa. Atoforsen General is there as well. Reputation versus being a hero, the courtroom display between Kennedy Japan, Egypt professor in a contempt case. Sick joke, that's in parenthesis. Oral debt on arrival. Atta Mills' brother rubbishes Mohammed's investigation. Is I'm surprised my student is asking me this question, Dr. Ide Tuwijagbawe MP. Why Apenyo Marking walked out on appointments committee vetting? Appointments committee during Aine vetting. Akufo-Addo's presidential chair that was moved around in a V8 should be kept in a museum. I think we have come to the era where we need a presidential museum.
Yeah, we do.
I think so.
We do.
And maybe then the former President Akufo-Addo's statue can be
erected there.
Yeah, mounted there.
Yes. The fairness, presidential museums are presidential specific. So like in the US, all the former presidents, they've got their own. I think we should go that route. We can't box all of them in one place.
Okay.
So for instance, what we sought to do with Atamos, right? And what we have from Nkrumah, what we have from Nkrumah, yes. And just so when you go to say former president Ekun Kufuor's museum or mausoleum, you know that the things he used when he was in office, like in the past we had even the pen that Nkrumah used and whatever, everything well kept and on display. It will fetch us a lot of money, but we are here. See, in fact, even books, the former president are not writing. I remember how people kept asking Ronald to write.
And
he never did, right? And so, as a country, it's a gold mine that we'll have to look at. Presidential mausoleums. Like what the facelift that President Akufo-Addo gave to that of Nkrumah. Brilliant. Yeah. They charge money. It's fetching the country some revenue. We do same for Tamils.
I have been there. Very beautiful place.
We do same for Tamils. We do same for even Alhaji Ali Muhammad, former vice president. We do the same for Emisata. You see, this will be an investment worthy of a sort because it will be returned.
Especially after the year of return and
exactly.
the return, you know.
Exactly.
People want to know, I mean, the things about Ghana history, you know. So if we have mausoleums or museums of this nature, it will help ensuring that history is maintained. Anyway, that's it for the breakfast review. Shortly, we'll take you to court.
Yeah.
And
not that we are singing them, no.
Captain Mutala Iniso has joined.